We welcome you to another live edition of the Sports Box, brought to you by our sponsor, Showcase Sports in Hamilton. Showcase Sports for the elite athlete. And by our friends over at CrowdPlay. Download the free CrowdPlay app today and check them out at www.crowdplayapp.com for details. Ladies and gentlemen, it's showtime.
Hey everybody, welcome to Cage My IQ. I am your host, D-Bake. Right now I bring you the PFL Week 3 recap, which was right on ESPN tonight. What a recap I got for you today. This card was 4 decisions, and only 3 or 4 fights went the distance. So this was probably one of the best fight cards that we've had in a while for the PFL. But let's get started with the first fight on the card, which was a women's lightweight matchup, which pitted Larissa Pacheco against Julia Pacheco, which saw Pacheco get 6 points with the first round finish of Pacheco. This was finished in the first 50 seconds. Pacheco controlled it right away, got her opponent down, and basically just knocked her down, and then finished her off with the ground and pound, and showed off her power and her heavy hands, and then just demolished the matchup before we even started right away. That's why the fight only lasted between 45 and 50 seconds. But she showed her dominance in this matchup, and then right afterwards they asked her in the post-fight and then in the media how she felt, and she feels like one of the top 2 women's lightweight competitors in the division, and her eyes are on Kayla Harrison in the future, and she's looking for revenge, and that she wants that women's lightweight first place title this year in PFL 2021. Moving on to the next matchup we got on the card, we had a heavyweight matchup which saw Brandon Sales go up against Mohammed Uzman, the younger brother of Kamaru Uzman, in which Brandon Sales beat Mohammed Uzman by second round submission. This was a pretty good matchup going up in the first round, where it saw Uzman and Sales trade shots here and there throughout the first round, going at a quick pace. Sales would rotate between his kick and his hooks, while Mohammed Uzman was coming after him with his right overhands. There's a couple times in the first round that Uzman connected on a few overhands, but they didn't affect Sales as much. Sales in the media said that he's so used to getting hit with those in the military and in training that his hard head can take those shots. But the difference in this matchup, which was basically Sales' leg kicks, he was able to get this started early, with Mohammed Uzman only throwing strikes and not doing much else, and then his 2 takedown attempts being stuffed right away from Sales. Those leg kicks were pretty big importance in this matchup. They kept Uzman at bay, and then they started to hurt him in the second round. And then with those leg kicks, they opened up the right hooks and uppercuts for Sales, which in fact was the end for Uzman in the second round. Uzman was respecting the leg kick, and then Sales came under and hit Uzman with a shot to the stomach and dropped him, which caused Uzman to fall down, and that's when Brandon Sales came in and got the second round submission right on Uzman right before the second round ended, and he picked up 5 points for that. And then when they talked to him afterwards, he just said this is what I expected from Uzman. I knew I had to get the leg kicks involved. I knew I had to just take my time, and I was able to pick. I wanted the 6 points, but I'll make do with 5 points. So he didn't get 6 points for the first round finish, but he got the finish by submission in the second round. So he got 5 points, which is still really good in itself within this competitive heavyweight division, which saw two first round, no, three, yeah, 3 first round submissions, and then 1 second round finish. So he's going to go into the second half of the regular season with a pretty good knowing that he's in the top 4, and then he should advance as long as he controls his destiny the right way. And the next matchup we have on here was the co-main event of the evening, which saw 2-time champion Kayla Harrison defeat Mariana Moraes by first round TKO pretty quickly. I believe it was in the first minute as well. If not, it was in a couple minutes into the fight. From the get-go, Kayla Harrison got surprised because Marion Moraes, with her judo background, decided she was going to go into the clinch and try and throw Harrison, which caught Harrison by surprise. But because of the strength and then the buildup of Harrison, she was able to stuff that and get to her game plan. Her and Moraes were rotating back and forth between the clinch for about a minute before Harrison was able to use her weight and then use her back and forth movement to eventually throw Moraes onto the ground and get into the clinch, where she was able to make Moraes move to where she wanted to go, which was on her back, and then she eventually jumped on top of Moraes and started pounding her. So Moraes flipped over, and then at the end, it was too much for Moraes, where Harrison started ground and pounding her in the face, and then she wound up getting the referee stoppage once Moraes was shown that she wasn't doing enough to protect herself, and that gave Kayla Harrison the 6 points in the first round knockout and put her in the driver's seat to advance to the playoffs pretty easily with this easy fight that she had on hand. She was able to do what she wanted. She was using her mental mastermind abilities to get Moraes to do what she wanted, and she only picked and chose what she was going to do strike-wise until the end, when she went with the onslaught and got the TKO. And now she has 6 points and sits atop the top of the women's lightweight division with Pacheco. And barring anything crazy, she's looking like she's going to advance to the playoffs. So keep a look at Kayla Harrison, because if she wins this tournament, we could be seeing her get that third women's lightweight championship, and then possibly go elsewhere afterwards, because she's dominated the PFL the whole time. And then somebody asked her in media about Amanda Nunes, and she said that she's gunning for that top spot amongst women. So I feel like if she wins this tournament, don't be surprised if you can see her in the UFC in the near future. But she's got to get this this win in this tournament first. And I feel like getting this quick, easy victory right here in the first matchup is a step in the right direction for Kayla Harrison. And the main event of the evening, we had a heavyweight matchup which saw Renan Ferreira defeat the heavyweight big signee Fabricio Werdum by first round TKO, picking up 6 points. This fight had a lot of controversy in itself. As you see there, Renan Ferreira was on top of Werdum and started doing hammer fist until Peterson stopped the fight, because Werdum wasn't defending himself because he was out of it. But before this happened, the fight started with a great jump up by both competitors. They both jumped at each other to try and get the first quick hit, and they basically collided, and in which it saw them fall to the ground. Werdum got into the clinch first and was controlling the clinch as they were volleying for who was going to get on top. So he had on top for a while before Renan Ferreira, a couple minutes in, was able to get on top. There was controversy right after that where it saw him go on top, and Fabricio Werdum locked in a couple of submissions right onto Ferreira before he got the punching and the hammer fist going. But when he got locked in, you could see Ferreira looking like he was tapping before he picked his hand up after doing the double tap and then go after Werdum. It looked like Werdum let go of the submission because he thought he won. And then Ferreira just went after him and then attacked him with the onslaught of punches and hammer fists before the Peterson went and called for the first round TKO win for Ferreira. But when you look at the look back and then the replays, you can see that because Peterson was in a bad position where he couldn't see the tap, it wasn't able to call for the submission victory for Werdum because he didn't see it. So knowing that his opponent was tapping, Werdum went in the media and said that he let go of the submission because he saw that his opponent was tapping, and instead of keeping him locked on until the ref pulled him off, his first thought process was to let go because he thought he got the tap and he was gonna get ready to get up to go for the win, but because, like I said, because Peterson didn't see the tap, he didn't call for anything, and then Ferreira just kept on going with the fight, and then wound up knocking out Werdum in the process. So it'll be interesting to see what happens tomorrow when to see if Werdum's camp decides to appeal the decision or if the PFL look into it and overturn it themselves. But for the moment now, Renan Ferreira picks up 6 points for the first round knockout, and then Fabricio Werdum faces a tall task at hand with 0 points in making it to the playoffs unless he can pick up a first round knockout or second round knockout / submission, and then get help from at least one of the competitors that are in the top 4 losing. But this PFL has been crazy so far with all these underdogs winning and then heavy signees losing, that it's been for a great 2021 season, and I'm loving it all together right now. And I hope everybody watches right now. But that is the end of the first half of the 2021 regular season for PFL. They won't be back until June 10th to start the second leg of the regular season with the highly anticipated debut of Clarissa Shields, one of the greatest boxers of all time, men or women, where she makes her debut for the women's lightweight division. So be prepared to watch that on ESPN or ESPN2 on June 10th. So don't miss any coverage. Cage My IQ has your back. If you miss anything from the first 3 weeks of the PFL regular season, just go to Cage My IQ's YouTube page. As you know, Cage My IQ is the best place for MMA content. You can follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch. And just like I said, subscribe to our YouTube page if you haven't. All of our content's on there. You can find the first 3 weeks of the PFL coverage on there, previews and recaps in case you miss anything. So watch the first 2 weeks of recaps on there, and then watch this one as you are now. I'm your host, Daniel Bakley, and once again, this is Cage My IQ, the best place for MMA content. This was your PFL Week 3 recap. Once again, Pacheco wins, Brandon Sales wins, Kayla Harrison wins, and then Renan Ferreira wins, all by decisions in the first or second round. What a night for PFL Week 3. Once again, I'm your host, D-Bake, and you guys have a wonderful rest of your night. Talk to you guys later.
Thank you for watching this episode of Cage My IQ on the Sports Box. Please remember to follow us on all of our social media outlets. On Facebook at Sportsbox Show, Twitter at Sportsbox Show, Instagram at The Sportsbox Show. Find us on YouTube and join Outside the Box, our Facebook sports discussion group. The Sports Box is brought to you by our sponsor, Showcase Sports in Hamilton. Showcase Sports for the elite athlete. And also our friends over at CrowdPlay. Download the free CrowdPlay app today and use promo code THEBOX at sign up for 10 free points. Thank you for joining us.